Hi guys, it is Kel Thatcher from Oshawa Bushcraft. It is Saturday, January 2nd today, 2016. We're outside of Newtonville. We're shooting part 3 in our series on the 82 pattern rucksack. If you want to go back and see the first two parts, the first one we identified all the components of the pack. In the second video we assembled it. Now we're actually going to load this thing out. Now I'm going to try and give you guys some tips on how to load it out properly and how to set it up for the load and how to wear it on your back. And I'm going to give you a demonstration on what it can carry. Now, I do not have all the equipment to show you a full combat loadout. I just don't own it all. I don't have that many uniforms and all that much ammo and 10 sets of rations and all that stuff. So we're going to fill it with stuff. It will not be the stuff that was actually issued to me, because I don't have it. So stick around. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys the Canadian Forces sleep system, and we're going to cram it in the sleeping bag carrier. Alright guys, I didn't show this to you guys in the first two videos because it's technically a separate part of the pack, although it should be considered part of the rucksack. This is your sleeping bag carrier, also known as a valise. And you can find these at surplus stores for 10 or 20 bucks, and it is an awesome piece of kit. Even if you don't have one of these rucksacks, I recommend getting one. It is just a huge nylon sleeping bag carrier. It has a drawstring on the top, it has a flap to keep things on the inside dry, and a drawstring on the side that cinches it in a little. Now this doesn't have the 7-strap system like the MSS uses to compress it. You just got to compress this by hand, just by cramming stuff into it. And this is one of the strong parts of this pack. It lets you carry all sorts of stuff. Now I don't actually have my complete Canadian Forces sleep system with me today, but I'm going to give you guys a demo on, just give you an idea of what'll fit in this. So what we're going to start with right now is Canadian Forces extreme cold weather outer down bag and the inner down bag, 2 separate sleeping bags. I have a US issue poncho liner. I have the CF issue bunny hood, it's the sleeping bag hood, and I have an aftermarket liner for the sleeping bag because I couldn't find a surplus one. Alright guys, so there you can see I got all that in, and this bag's still only about half full. On top of this, you would normally have a Gore-Tex bivy bag, an air mattress, you might have your spare pair of boots, you might have all your extra clothing, your shaving kit or cleanup kit, because you usually use that when you're getting your sleeping bag out anyway, and technically your helmet would fit in here. And then you'd cinch it all up. Now, I could show you all that, I just don't have that much gear with me. It was hard enough carrying 2 of everything in here in the first place. Do that drawstring up tight. We can even the load out a little bit. And cinch this one up. Alright, now we're going to tie these strings up out of the way, and then we're going to move on to the main pack. Alright guys, next we're going to load the main bag. And again, I don't have a full combat loadout to show you, but we're just going to fill it full of stuff to give you an idea of the volume. So we're going to make sure sleeping bag straps are loose. Those load control straps we did up earlier are loose. Now I'm going to start with, this is a medium-sized civvy sleeping bag. That did not fill, what, half of the main compartment. On top of that, I'm sticking Wolfgang's winter coat in there. And I'm putting a Tough Duck type work jacket in on top. Alright, yet again that's secured with a drawstring. Let me close up the main flap. Hey Rook, could you grab me those 2 canteens off the table over there? Alright, you And actually, you can grab my carving kit too. We got 3 pockets on the outside, just to give you an idea on their size. These 2 side ones hold a canteen with a little bit of side-to-side room. And the center one is considerably narrower. Well, it's just as wide, but it's not as deep. So that's my carving kit, and that fits in there with lots of room to spare. Again, just giving you guys an idea on the capacity of pockets, if you wonder if your load will fit in it. Now, the last thing we got is this main pouch that's part of your the top flap. And to show it, I've got my wool combat sweater. Just stuff that in there. Again, if I took the time to really pack this really efficiently and get it into every corner and compress everything, I could fit 2, maybe 3 times as much in this. Maybe we'll do that as a challenge one day. How much could you carry in it? But just wanted to give you guys an idea of the volume in here. So, main bag's all loaded up. Now we're going to slap the sleeping bag carrier on. So we're actually going to undo these straps completely. And for a good reason. I'm going to throw a little tip at you guys here. Technically, we could just slide that carrier in and do it up. But because this thing's round, it has a tendency to want to shoot out one side or the other. So to keep that from happening, we're going to take these sleeping bag straps and pass it through some of the D-rings. This is going to make sure this thing stays on. It's not going anywhere. Alright guys, yeah. For those of you who watched all the way back to our first video, remember me describing these straps were not great. They were a good design, but they were poorly constructed and easy to break. So I'm going to give you guys a tip here. Rather than just trying to crank down on these sleeping straps to tighten this, these buckles will break. So you have to take the tension off of these and then just use the buckle to cinch it up. This can be done just by pulling on the straps, or as it gets tighter, you want to put your knee into it. Again, this is, you could put a lot more force on these when you didn't own it, and when you broke them, you could just ask for another one. They give you a new set. All right, there you have it. Fully loaded out, 82 pattern rucksack. All right, guys, so here's our finished 82 pattern pack. Now, for securing your load, remember these load securement straps I described up here? And there's more down here, bottom of the pack. They're used to pull the load in to your body. And when the pack's not full, more importantly, they'll cinch up some of the extra material to pull the load in so it doesn't all just sit at the bottom of the pack. The pack's full right now, so they're really not doing much. Make sure to cinch them up. And then your own personal adjustment will be these straps back here on your shoulder that go back to the frame. It's a hard thing to show you, but you got to get them tightened up, and you can't really tighten it while you're wearing it. But you got to get them to a point where they're snug when you're wearing the shoulder straps. After that, it's just a matter of tightening up your shoulder straps where you like them, doing up your waist belt, and there you have it. Now in a past video, I described why the waist belt sits down here below your belt, and I got a lot of comments on that. So make sure to watch through to video 4 where I show you my modified pack, and I'll show you the difference, and I'll show you about why I wear each one differently. So this has been loading out the 82 pattern rucksack. Please stick around to video number 4. That's where things really get interesting. Thanks a lot, guys.